Hello and welcome to the Happy PharmD podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Alex Barker, founder and CEO, and a lot of other things at the Happy PharmD, where we are helping pharmacists create inspiring careers and lives. And in this episode, you will be hearing from Linda Dumas, who is a retail chain pharmacist who loves her job. She's got a perfect scenario going on for her, but we talk about her journey for growing her jobby, as she called it, her side hobby that makes her income, and how she grew her business after working with a coach and what it was like and what she experienced as being a part of her program. I think you're going to be inspired, especially if you ever wondered or thought, you know what, I would love to write my ideas. I'd love to share what I have. Or if you've ever thought, I'd like to, but I'm a little bit scared, we'll talk about how Linda went through this journey, how she became committed to growing her business, and what amazing opportunities it has led her down and into, and some of the cool things that she has said no to as well, because she has created for herself an indispensable career. And so, with that, let's jump in. Hey, Linda, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm talking with Linda. It's been a journey for you and I in 2023.
hmm
Um, you have gone through so much, and you've gone from a pharmacist who has a part-time business in writing to expanding your clientele, moving on to bigger projects, and helping me inspire people within our community to become medical writers. So thanks for being here. I
Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm.
What?
I am excited to chat with you and catch up and hear how everything's been going. Um, like you said, I helped with the medical writing, and I also went through coaching. So I have used a lot of those skills to really help me find new clients, continue networking, working on the side business, and I have just incorporated a lot of it into my everyday at my pharmacy job.
What I love about your story is you just went out and did it. You didn't ask for permission from people. You weren't waiting for someone to tell you that you're a good writer, you can go do this. You just went out and did it even before you started coaching. And that's what I think is so great about anyone who's looking to do something with their career is you don't need to wait for someone to just tell you.
Mhm.
Did you, when you started writing and publishing online, did you have any kind of fear or trepidation to get started?
I started in 2020 during the pandemic, and I just found myself with a lot of free time on my hands. I wasn't seeing my friends, I wasn't going out and doing things. So this has always been something that I wanted to do. And before became a pharmacist, I've always wanted to be a writer, and it's always been like a dream to do it. And during the pandemic, I just thought, what better time to start? I was kind of nervous, so I invested a lot into building the brand and making it look really professional right from the get go. I wanted people to take me seriously. I wanted to produce high quality work.
Mm.
And my ultimate goal was to start getting published. So I really think having a professional look about you, and people can go to your website and see what you're doing. And then the hard part is just putting yourself out there,
Yeah.
networking, trying to meet people. But it's gotten a lot easier with coaching, that you learn all these skills on how to properly network, that it just feels kind of like second nature now. It's very organic.
And we'll get to that. We'll get about some of the skills that you had learned. But what was it like the moment you published your first thing online?
It was nerve wracking.
Yeah.
So I I didn't really know where to start. I started sharing my work with people that I know, people that are my friends, people in my community.
Yeah.
Um, and that kind of picked up. And I definitely think that's a good way to get started, is just to share with people that you already know, that already know you, that want to support you, and will, read your writing, maybe tell somebody about something that you wrote. And that's kind of how I grew. And I've gotten to where I am. And by also being really persistent and consistent. So when I first started, I was trying to put a piece out every single week, which now looking back, I was like, wow, that girl had a lot of energy to be trying to do that. I definitely don't do that anymore. I'm happy if I get something out once a month, but I
Mm.
also have taken a step back and thought about the quality of what I'm writing versus the quantity, which in the beginning I felt this pressure to continuously be writing, be posting, be sharing, trying to get published, versus now, um, I'm only doing things that truly excite me.
What made you so committed to pursuing this? Because you could have published one thing, seen that, yeah, maybe only a dozen people or so read it, and been really discouraged and just gave up. Like, what kept driving you to keep writing?
I think that I saw like this, like the little growth. Like I continued to see little growth every time. And that was really encouraging, even if it was small growth, even if it was, I had 10 more people visit my website. I would look at my analytics on my website a lot, and that would kind of like drive and build my motivation. Like if somebody new looked at my website, I considered that a win. If
Yeah.
somebody else read it, or if somebody sent me an email after they read something on there, that like continued to fuel the fire in me and really helped me, write the next piece, publish the next piece, reach out to somebody. And then I would say that my traction really picked up when I got published by a company called Levels Health. And I wrote this piece for them. It was very time consuming. It was hard to write. It was like challenging,
Yeah.
but they're they have a they have a really big reach, and just getting published on there felt like such a win. And then after I hit that level, I felt like now people would really know that I am a medical writer and that I can write. And it gave me a big confidence boost, when you get published by a big company like that. And then it kind of was like referrals. Like I would meet somebody, I would talk to them about what I would do, and they would say, "Oh my God, you need to meet this person. Like
Yeah.
this person needs somebody like you." And that is how I've gotten pretty much all of my clients. Everybody that I've worked with has been a referral at this point.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What I like about that is it's the small wins. The danger in the small wins for progress is that it can become addicting if you don't tame the beast, right?
Mhm.
Because I remember the time as well when I would look at my analytics and I would look to see how many downloads my podcasts have, and I would tie my emotional state to whatever that outcome was, whether it's money or numbers. I quickly learned to disassociate myself and my well-being for that, because it's a roller coaster ride. Did you feel
Mhm.
that same way in the early days?
I did, and like you said, it can really impact your life, because you're like thinking about how are people going to receive this.
Yeah.
And I think that once I kind of hit that level, I cared less. Like,
Mm,
once you finally got published and you're like out there, you're on somebody else's website, your headshots there with your name and you feel official. And I kind of stopped caring as much at that point, and I would kind of like write more freely.
Mm,
Um, but I will say that once I started writing for somebody else, it kind of took away from the time I had to write for myself.
mm,
Because I was focusing all of my energy on like, how can I best write for this person, that I didn't have the bandwidth to write for myself anymore. And so that I did kind of see like a dip then, because I wasn't being consistent. I wasn't putting things out there that I was excited about. Instead, I was writing for somebody else. And, obviously, like if I'm being paid to write for somebody, then I'm going to really put all my energy into that project for that person. And, that's kind of where the energy goes.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you started the coaching program earlier this year. What led you to decide to commit to working with a coach?
Well, I had met somebody on LinkedIn, and this was maybe right after I started my consulting writing business. And I reached out to her. I saw that she had switched jobs, and I was like, wow, like she had all these years with this one company and she just switched jobs on LinkedIn. I just saw her post that said, this person got a new job, congratulate them. So,
Mhm.
of course, I congratulated her, and then I sent her a message, and I was like, "How did you do that? Like, it's so hard to leave a job. Like, I feel like, and it's so hard too to find the next job." And she had gone through the coaching program. And at the time, she said, "Let me send you a Zoom link. I would love to like get on a call and really like talk to you about this, because I don't think that a private message through LinkedIn is really going to communicate everything that, I think you need to hear." So, I was like, wow, that was really my first like intro into how to properly network. Was she was using her skills from doing your coaching program and networking with me.
Oh, she was a previous client?
She was a previous client. So when I got on the Zoom call, she said, "Hey, I did this coaching program. I felt very supported through my decision to leave my job. And this is how I did it. And Jackie was my coach. And you should, just look at their website, follow them online. And, um, you can learn a lot just through the free resources that they have." So that's kind of how I discovered the Happy Farm Tea, is just through a referral. And, so I started following along on your content and, engaging a little bit with the posts. And then, yeah, just through that way. And then, after I think it was probably 2 years after is when I actually did the coaching program. So it did take me a little time to commit. I wasn't necessarily looking for a new job, but I did want to like access these skills that pharmacists were being taught through it. And so I 100% accomplished that through coaching.
What were some of the goals that you had wanted to accomplish through the program?
So I wasn't 100% sure what the program was, as somebody just following along on the content. I wasn't sure like what the time commitment was, or what the assignments were, what it would be like to work with a coach. I'm thinking the last time I worked with a coach was I was in high school with my tennis coach, like teaching me skills, showing up, being critiqued, that type of thing. So in my head, that's kind of what I imagined it would be like on a more professional level. And I got matched with Chris, who was an amazing coach. He really helped get you in the mindset of what do you really want to do, and then teaching you how to get there.
Mm,
And for me, I love being a pharmacist. I am a retail pharmacist. I actually really do like my job. I know retail pharmacy gets, a bad rep, but I love it. I think that working for the right company is huge. When you find the right company and they're treating you well, then you enjoy your job. Like, I think that a lot of retail pharmacists are unhappy with their company, not necessarily their job.
mm,
Um, so I knew I didn't want to leave my job per se, but I did want to, you know, learn new skills, learn, how to continue to write on the side, how to talk with people. My favorite module was the networking, just the proper way to network with people. It's
mm.
done wrong by so many people, and I have people that try to network with me that need to go through the course because um, you just
Yeah.
learn a lot on, how to talk to people.
In your own words, Linda, what does a coach do?
So we would get on our calls. We were doing them at 7 a.m. On the weekend just to meet both of our schedules. I was in the coaching program with other pharmacists. So just so that we all could be on the call, we would do the assignments ahead of time. And then we would come on the call and we would discuss, we would talk about wins, we would talk about tracking our progress through the program, seeing like small changes, trying to, uh, notice the small things, like the small wins every week. If you networked with somebody, that was considered a win. And just that celebration and momentum, and somebody that's asking you about your thoughts and kind of digging deeper into your responses, or noticing patterns, things that you continuously say that you like or that you want to do, or this would be my dream, and then reminding you of it. Hey, you mentioned a few times that you really like writing. I think that you should, for your task this week, I think you should work on that. I think you should reach out to somebody else that's writing. I think you should write a piece and publish it. Like those type of tasks. I don't know that it's the same for everybody. I know we have different coaches that do different things, but that's kind of how Chris did it with me and the other pharmacists, is just focusing on the gains.
Mm. Yeah,
Hmm.
weightlifting in careers.
Yes.
I know that one of the goals, because I had talked with you
Hmm.
prior, that you wanted to get really clear about your side business, and
Hmm.
then that was a part of the program.
Yes.
What were some of the things that had changed about your business through that experience?
So I I really want to pursue medical writing on the side. I call it my jobby, a hobby that pays. And so just really only doing projects that I want to be on, really not stretching myself and trying to have, more clients than I need to. I don't need this business to make a living. It is nice. It's supplementing my family and my life and giving me extra money, but I really want to focus on work that excites me, things that, bring me joy, and I can't wait to start working on them. And the nice thing about my retail job is that I work 12-hour days. So I have time off and I have days off during the week that I can set aside time and work on these projects. And it's a nice balance. It's working well.
What were some of the maybe surprising things you learned about yourself or through the coaching process?
Um, there was so many lessons and modules and assignments, and I feel like they all helped me gain a clearer vision on what I really wanted out of my life and what was making me happy. And, you know, what I found is that having a passion project alongside of us as a career, having my full-time career that I do, and then having this passion project is enough for me. Like, that's good for me right now. I'm enjoying my time at work, knowing that I also have time to do these other projects. And I still get that team feel, like when I come on as a writer or a consultant, or I'm working on a project, I'm usually included in their Slack channel, so I get to communicate with them. We do a lot of Zoom calls to go over like different writing projects that I have going on. And it lets me be an extrovert. I'm definitely an extrovert. I discovered that through the program. I want to be with the people.
Yeah.
I need to be on projects. I could never be a remote worker where I sat home all day. I don't think that's for me. I think I need to be in the community working with people.
I think there's real power in understanding how you fit into the workplace, whether it's in your business or in a company. And I think you found really your groove,
Mhm.
and you found a place where you can be content with where you're at. I think
Mhm.
some people come into the program discontented with where they're at, or feel like there's a gap between where they are and where they want to be. And not everyone expects, after going through the process, to discover that by renegotiating with their current company, they can find something better within that company, which is so much easier than going out and getting a whole brand new job with a completely different company.
Mhm.
Were you able to learn and apply some of those negotiation skills from the program into your current job?
I think it just made me a better leader in the way that, it helped me see the type of boss that I would want to have, and helped me kind of be that boss to the people that I work with.
Hmm.
And, after the program, I did get moved to a new store. And then I felt like I really had, a fresh slate where I could really implement these lessons that I learned through coaching, and how to be a better leader to my team. And I think that just comes from being content and being happy with where I am in my life. And, you know, it all comes full circle to coaching. I think in the first, I'm going to say it wrong, you do strength builders. Is that what it's called? Where you, or strength
we
finders?
use we use strength finders.
Strength finders. Okay.
Yep, there's standout and strength finders that we use in the program.
Yeah. So reading those and going over those with the coach, and hearing what type of jobs I would be great for, I actually came up that I matched really well with retail pharmacy. And I think just changing your perspective on your work environment and your life is something that I really took from the program.
That is a hard message to share, because it's not what I mean, there's so much news right now about how it needs to change, and I think majority of that focuses on major chains for sure,
Mhm.
but I and I al it's almost as if you're siding with the bad guy to say that you can be a retail chain community pharmacist and still enjoy what you do. But what has to be there, and it sounds like what you found, is support from your team and your leader,
Mhm.
clear communication. You're not overworked, you're not understaffed.
Right.
And when you have that setting, it allows you to do your best work, and it sounds like you found that.
Yeah, I know. And It feels a little taboo to say that I like being a retail pharmacist right now because of everything that's going on in the news. And like my
Yeah.
heart goes out to those pharmacists. I think that they need to come do the
Yeah.
coaching program and go through it and then find a company that's going to support them and give them the tools that they need to do their job the way that they would like to do it. And I think that we would see like a resurgence in people that find retail pharmacy a fulfilling career again. I think it's possible.
Absolutely. It is possible, and we definitely need to make it clear that, hey, if you go through our coach program, we're just going to help you change your perspective and stay at your job. No, this is just Linda's story.
Right.
She discovered her niche within pharmacy, and we can't forget as well. And I hope you're okay with me sharing this, that you also had a job opportunity that was
Mhm.
presented to you after the program, I believe, right? Where it sounded like a great opportunity, but you actually stuck with this path that you
Yeah.
chose for yourself.
Mhm. Yeah, so part of the program, for those who maybe don't know, is that you get your CV reviewed by a coach and cover letter, and they put you through a mock interview. And after doing all those things, I had this shiny CV and these interview skills that I was excited about. And I was like, I'm going to just put it out there. Like, I found a job that I thought sounded really awesome. And I applied and I interviewed, and they offered me the position. But that perspective that I had from coaching was that this, like, I'm happy where I'm at. Like, I don't want to switch my job. I don't want to leave my company. I feel supported. I have great coworkers. So I did turn that offer down. It was more money. It was a more flexible schedule, but again, I like what I do. And I didn't want to leave.
You can't be bought.
No.
What a powerful
So,
stance, though. And I
yeah,
feel like
but
that's the stance that we teach people in the program, is that you as a pharmacist have more value than you recognize.
mhm.
And you don't have to say yes to any and every new opportunity. You can say no, and that makes you even more desirable when you say
Right.
no.
Yeah.
Um, so congratulations. I mean,
Yeah,
that was a big step for you.
I know, and it was good though. I went through it. I tried it. I put myself out there. I applied, I interviewed, and then I had the power to say, "No, this isn't right for me. I'm happy where I am. I'm not willing to change." Um, I
Yeah.
like what I do. So, um, but the whole experience, I will say I was happy that I did go through it because it made me feel like I am a desirable candidate. People do want to hire me. Um, but yeah, I can't be bought.
Yeah. When you're in that position, you hold all the cards. So you get to
Yeah.
determine the conditions for work and who you want to work for.
Mhm.
And I know that another consequence of the coach program has been essentially the growth and the more referrals for your jobby, as you put it.
Mhm.
You have a lot of exciting things that I know some you can share, some you can't.
Yeah.
But what have you been working on that's really exciting?
So again, going back to, the beginning stages when I was building the company, I was writing and publishing and trying to be really consistent. And through that, I created some great evergreen content that continues to get views and people continue to read it, even though it's, a couple years old at this point, but it's still relevant. And I was found through my past writing experience by a company called Aura Ring. The Oura Ring, it's a biometric ring that you wear. It tracks your sleep, it tracks your activity. It gives you a score every day of how you did. It gives you a readiness score every morning based off of your sleep from the previous night. And this company found me through a piece of work that I wrote about being a shift worker, working 12-hour shifts at the pharmacy. and also from some of my other pieces, and reached out to me on LinkedIn and wanted to work on a project with me about pharmacists, and specifically pharmacists who do these 12-hour shifts. And what was I finding through wearing the Oura Ring that I was finding helpful and I was using to, make minor changes in my life, So it was a fun project. It's not published yet, but it's in the works, and I'm really excited for it to come out. But this is the type of work that I find exciting and I want to work on.
And that's, I think, a highlight for anyone listening that's in the trenches right now, looking for a new career and wanting opportunities to be presented to them versus you having to go out and get them. For Linda's case, she's putting herself out there in the online world by just writing, publishing her thoughts, and yes, caring that it sounds professional and it looks great, but also not caring so much about that it's perfect and that she has to make sure that everything is, absolutely not going to offend anyone or, nothing like that. She's just writing and publishing what she has, her message online.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how she's attracting these opportunities.
Yeah.
I got to be careful on how I word this because I want us to both sound super smart. But anyone can write.
Yeah.
If you're a pharmacist, you're more than capable of writing down your ideas, your thoughts about things, and publishing it.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it for free on LinkedIn. It doesn't cost anything to publish a blog.
Yeah.
You can write your thoughts out there and send it to your friends, just like Linda did.
Mm-hmm.
And so many interesting jobs, opportunities. Linda's business is based around this idea that all you have to do is pick something to write about, and guess what? You have probably 1,001 things to say about lots of different things. It doesn't have to be medical. It can be, I don't know, nerd fandom related. It can be anything. And
Yeah.
that can lead to so many interesting opportunities for you.
Mm-hmm.
Linda's living it out. And Linda seems to like her life.
Yeah. It's fun. And going back to the point about the article that they found me or discovered me with was about
The
shift work.
Oura Ring, you mean?
The Oura Ring. Yeah, check it out. I wasn't even really thrilled about the article that I wrote about shift work. I kind of wrote it and I was like back and forth, like, should I publish this? Is this worth it? But I was in the mindset of I need to be consistent and I just need to put things out there. And, I did run it through Grammarly before for, any grammatical things, but it was really just my thoughts about, what do I notice as being somebody that works these long shifts? And it was just what they were looking for. I mean, they must have been searching for that on Google to come across my blog. And we had meetings, emails, the whole thing, like, working on a project. It's back and forth.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about it. It's fun. It feels
It
really
is fun.
cool.
It's wonderful when a hobby pays you too. I
Yeah.
mean, what's something fun that you have purchased for yourself or your family through this business that you've created?
So I've been recently trying to take what I make and kind of put it back into the business, into ways to grow it more. Um, I am looking at joining the American Medical Writers Association right now, doing some of their workshops, just getting some of that experience. I think that, to work on bigger projects, I'd obviously need to have like some bigger publications under my belt. So that's definitely a goal that I want to do. But going back to the question about what have I done that was really fun, I used my consultant money to fly my family to Hawaii. And that was
Oh,
a really
so
fun
cool.
trip that we did last year. And I paid for it exclusively with my consulting money.
Hey,
Yeah.
that is so cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. It felt really like a big accomplishment. And I wanted to celebrate it in a way that I was going to remember what I spent that money on. And so I will always remember that.
If you could go back in time to Linda of 2020, what would you want to tell her?
I think I would just like try to be more of a cheerleader on the sidelines, being like, this is awesome. Like, keep going. You've got this. Like, don't publish every week because that's a lot. But, try to really just work on things that are exciting to you. And just continue to try to meet other people that are doing the same thing. Or something that I did in the beginning too that I didn't mention is I came alongside of other pharmacists or business owners or people doing similar things and just kind of encouraged them, kind of supported what they were doing, and tried to, ask them how they were doing. Ask them, like, I did a few interviews with people for my website of other people that are trying to start a business, maybe during the pandemic too. And that brought a lot of camaraderie, a lot of relationships came out of that. I think there's power in supporting other people's visions alongside of what you're doing. Or if there's a way that you can help somebody, do it.
I love Linda's story because there's nothing better than hearing a pharmacist who's happy, who loves what they do, who loves who they work with, the patients that they serve. And on top of that, she's got this awesome side business that's creating money and funding things like trips to Hawaii. How stinking cool is that for her and her family? It started off as a dream for her, but it became a reality. And that's the power that you can make simply by just being committed to yourself and to improving your career or your life, whatever it is. It doesn't have to just be a side business or even your career. It could be your health, it could be your relationships, it can be your money, it could be anything. And so I hope that you take some inspiration into your walk, your career, and move that forward. Whatever it is, whatever that thing is, whatever the goal is. I want to start my book. I want to lose 5 pounds. I want to apply to a job and get interviewed. Whatever it is, be consistent and stay true. And if you need that extra help, and if you want to work with an expert, we would love to be the people to help you do that. You can do that so easily by calling one of our career advisors. You can do that by clicking a link that'll be somewhere, probably in the description of this podcast. And we would love to help you get clear about your goals and to draw up what those initial action steps to be. And if you do want to work with a coach, you can learn more of what that's like and how we exactly help you move fast towards making goals a reality. Thanks for listening to this episode, and we'll see you in the next one.